Hi, I'm Kirby Howell-Baptiste, and this is my life from A to Z, or Z, as I would really say it. A is apples, weirdly my favorite fruit, maybe apples and cherries. It feels very, very boring and very bland. If you get a good apple, a really, really good one, you know what I'm talking about. B is for bad. I don't think I've yet played a really bad role. I think JoJo is kind of debatable. It's not really bad. It's kind of a victimless crime, so I don't think she's bad, and I think in her core she's good. But bad is probably, bad, a baddie. That'd be fun. C is for cats. So let's make it cats. That feels very, very basic. Not my favorite animal at all, or even my favorite household pet, but I have been told that I'm very similar to them, and maybe that's why I don't really take to them. D is for dance. Over the pandemic, obviously you couldn't go to the gym, so I started going to this outdoor dance class, which I never thought I would do. And the choreographer, Jessica Monet Evans, was so good that I was like, when I got Queenpins and they told me they had a dance sequence, I hit her up immediately and was like, will you choreograph something for me that's really fun and feels happy and energetic, that's going to be in the film? And it made it into the movie. E is for elephant, my favorite animal. F is for fun and feel good, which is what I would say Queenpins is. It's a fun, feel-good film. There is definitely a message that's woven in there about being undervalued and about the way we treat certain people, but it's also kind of that spoonful of sugar comedy where you know that you're going to go in, you're going to have a good time with your girls or your guys or whoever you want to go and see this film with, and then take something away, but also just have a moment to go and laugh for an hour and a half, because I think most people are in desperate need of that. G is for good time, I guess. I saw a meme yesterday that said all we're meant to be doing on Earth is just vibing. I don't know what all this extra stuff is. I kind of feel the same. I'm like, let's just all be here for a good time. What else is there? H is for, I'm gonna go happy, and I haven't even, it's the word. Everyone wants to be happy. I don't think it's a permanent state. I think it's just a place where you find yourself in and among other things. If you're mad, you're not there forever. If you're sad, you're hopefully not there forever. And I think happy is a place that you can kind of chase it forever, but I think it's something that has to be deep inside of you for it to feel continuous. Oh, I is for ice cream. Discovered a place called Jenny's Ice Cream. It is the best ice cream. I thought it was wildly overpriced, which it is still, but it's not. It's completely worth the money. And if you try it once, you'll never want any other ice cream ever again. J is for, literally the first thing that popped into my mind is Jonas Brothers with J, and I couldn't tell you a single song from them. I don't know. I don't even know why that popped into my head. I'm going to leave it at that. It's a simple word association. Nothing else behind it. Maybe I'm manifesting something. I don't know. K is for Kirby, but also straight up for K, because that is what I say my name is when I give it at Starbucks or somewhere. I just say K, because if I say Kirby, they'll go Cubby, and I'll go, no, it's Kirby, and then it's a whole thing because I don't pronounce the R. It's a soft R in England, it's a hard R here. So K is my alias. L is for loving life. That's what L is for. That's what life is for. M is for food is my joys of my life is eating food and discovering new restaurants. N is for no. I think it's good to say no. I think it's important. I think it's a hard thing to learn, to say no. But I think actually no can be as powerful as yes. O is for being open to different things and being open to change, I guess. Queenpins has been in the making for a very long time. There were other people attached, and then that fell through. And then when it came to the pandemic and getting this thing made, and it had to be made by the end of 2020. And I think at that time, no one had worked, no one knew what going back to work would look like. But knowing that Kristen was involved, having met Aaron and Geeta and them being such great people, I knew they would be really amazing directors, and I loved the work that they had created. And when I was sent this script, I was like, I'm just going to see what it is. I had no intention of even going back to work at that time. I was just kind of open to whatever happened, and doing Queenpins was one of the best experiences of my career so far. P is for P. literal pee-pee. This is like a somewhat serious, even though it sounds funny because I've said pee-pee, and as an adult, there is a drastic need to have sanitation facilities for the public, and particularly for people who are unhoused. I went for a bike ride with my mum, and then we needed to use a bathroom, and no restaurants were letting us in. There was absolutely nowhere to use a bathroom, and that is something that we only experienced for a few months, because during that the months of everything being locked down, but at the same time we still had a home to go back to where we could do that. So we desperately need portable, clean sanitation areas so people can shower, so people can be entitled to use a bathroom. And every major city should have that. I think we're kind of remiss for not having that. Q. Questions is Q. I guess it's questions, but it leads to me saying curiosity, because I think that being curious is a skill and a practice, because it's very easy to just be like, well, I know what this is and I know what that is, and I stay within those parameters. But I think being curious and being, I guess going back to being open, you can kind of have like magical things happen in your life without you really forcing it, without you having to do too much. R is for relaxation. I think I take relaxation pretty seriously. Taking a dedicated time to go, this is a time that I'm going to do nothing, and then honoring that, or trying your best to. So email to me that, but trying your best to honor those moments. That way you can like really enjoy your rest, and then you can come back ready to get back to work and hit ground running. I honestly, the only thing that comes to my mind is S is for smile. And I feel like most of my answers sound like they've been from a kid's book. I at least have recognized the power of smiling with your eyes over the last year, because this is covered. So you have to like really, really smile with your eyes, you see? Because if I smile like this, you don't know what's going on. That's a fake smile. You need like a full, there. T is for Tyra. T is for smiles. If there's anything she taught us, I mean, essentially Tyra's a visionary. She taught us smiles before we knew we needed to smiles. Now we recognize the power of her. U is for undervalued. That's a common theme in Queenpins, is the idea of like being undervalued. And I think that's the idea of not only coupons themselves, but couponers. Like a lot of people who do this have multiple people in their family involved, so they're sort of teaching their kids financial lessons that the majority of people don't get taught. And I think it is the art of it is undervalued. V is for vertical. Because, I think that the whole point in life is to grow. And I think the whole point is to be growing and evolving. And my, at least, idea of that in my mind of what that looks like is vertical, even though it could be that way. Horizontal. W is for win. There's a line in Queenpins where Connie says, winning becomes a habit. The more you win, the more you do win. And I think that's genuinely true in life. It's something that we're not really taught is a life skill, is confidence. And I think confidence is what brings forth those wins. And the more you win, the more that increases your confidence, and that gives you the courage to know that you can continue to win in whatever way you take win to mean for you. X is for xylophone, which I do not play. I don't play any instruments, and it is something that I regret, not knowing another language fluently and not playing an instrument, which essentially is almost like speaking another language. And I know there is still time to rectify it, and I have Duolingo. I'm working on the language first. The instrument it's not at the top of my to-do list, but I do wish I knew how to play even the xylophone. Y is for yes. Y is for saying yes, trying new things. I don't think I would be where I am if I didn't go out on a limb and try things that I'd never tried before, and try things that kind of scare me. And I think equally the way I said N is for no, I think they are kind of yin and yang, aren't they? Yes and no. It's knowing when to say yes and to what, and knowing when to say no and to what. I'm going to say Z is for Z. You know why? I'm going to hit you with it. Z is for Z, because the reason why Z is for Z is because it's a representation of how people can see the same thing very differently. And I don't think we make enough space in the world for that, particularly in the world that we're in right now, because we make a lot of snap judgments and we don't always have time to have like sort of like full nuanced conversations in the way that we should. But I think if we can recognize that half of the world says Z and half of the world says Z, and we're all talking about the exact same thing, then maybe we could make more allowances and make more space for the fact that that can happen in many other areas where people can have simple misunderstandings or misalignments, basically just based on the fact that they were taught different things, and we have to sort of account for that and sort of like translate sometimes. And that's my life from A to Z.